The cafeteria buzzed with the usual chaos of Terran Academy's lunch period. Mackenzie sat with her tray, absently pushing synthetic protein around her plate while her friends debated the merits of various exoplanet colonization programs. She barely listened, her attention drawn instead to the corner of the room where a small crowd had gathered. Phones were out. Students were recording. The laughter had that particular edge to it, the kind that made Mackenzie's stomach turn. At the center of the crowd, huddled against the wall, was the new student, Zixthari, the first Velopian to attend a human educational institution as part of the Galactic Cultural Exchange Program. Her crystalline skin refracted the harsh cafeteria lights into prismatic patterns across the floor, and her 4 delicate arms were folded protectively around something. Mackenzie stood, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. "Where are you going?" her friend Sarah asked, but Mackenzie was already moving. As she approached, she could see what had drawn the crowd. Zixthari's food, some kind of nutrient paste specially prepared for her biology, had spilled across the floor. The Velopian girl was crouched low, her feeding tendrils extended, consuming the paste directly from the tiles while students filmed and whispered. "God, that's so gross," someone muttered. "Are you getting this?" another asked. "It's literally licking the floor like an animal." Mackenzie felt heat rise in her cheeks, but not from embarrassment, from anger. She pushed through the crowd and knelt down beside Zixthari. The alien girl's large, multifaceted eyes, like opals filled with starlight, turned toward her, reflecting fear and shame in equal measure. "Hey," Mackenzie said softly. "Are you okay?" Zixthari's translator chip crackled to life. "Please. I am sorry. This is shameful. On my world, we do not use implements. I dropped the container. I cannot waste nutrition. Food synthesis is expensive for my family." The crowd's laughter grew louder. Someone made a crude joke. Mackenzie's jaw tightened. Without a word, she set down her own tray, got down on her hands and knees, and began eating her lunch directly from the plate on the floor. No utensils, no hands, just like Zixthari. The laughter died instantly. "What the hell is Mackenzie doing?" Someone whispered. She didn't care. The synthetic protein tasted like cardboard in shame, but she kept eating. Beside her, Zixthari had frozen, her feeding tendrils retracting in surprise. Then she heard another tray hit the floor. Colton dropped to his knees on Mackenzie's other side. She'd never spoken to him before. He was in her astrophysics class, always quiet, always in the back row with his nose in a datapad. But now he was here, eating his lunch from the floor, his dark eyes fixed forward with determination. "If this is how our guest eats," he said loudly enough for everyone to hear, "then this is how we eat." One by one, more students knelt. First 3, then 7, then a dozen. Trays clattered against the floor. The phones that had been recording mockery now captured something else entirely. An act of solidarity that spread through the cafeteria like wildfire. Within minutes, nearly half the cafeteria was on the floor, eating lunch without hands, without utensils, without dignity by human standards, but with something far more important: unity. The vice principal, Mr. Chen, rushed in looking horrified. "What is the meaning of—" He stopped mid-sentence, taking in the scene. His expression shifted from confusion to understanding, and slowly, deliberately, he knelt down with his coffee cup and took a sip from it on the floor. Zixthari's translator emitted a sound Mackenzie had never heard before. Something between a chime and a sob. "Why?" the alien girl asked. "Why do this? You humiliate yourselves for me?" Mackenzie looked up, her face probably smeared with food, and smiled. "You're not being humiliated. You're eating. There's no shame in that, and if people can't see the difference, then we'll show them." "Humans are strange," Zixthari said, but her translator couldn't quite mask the warmth in her voice. "Yeah," Colton agreed, grinning despite the cafeteria floor pressed against his knees. "We really are." The video went viral, of course. Not the mockery clips. Those were drowned out by the flood of footage showing dozens of human students eating from the floor in solidarity with their alien classmate. It spread across Earth's networks, then to Mars, then to the lunar colonies, and finally out into galactic channels. Within days, Mackenzie's inbox was flooded with messages. Some called her a hero. Others said she was making humanity look foolish. She deleted most without reading them, but one message she kept. It was from the Velopian ambassador to Earth. "You have shown us something we did not expect from humanity," it read. Not tolerance, and not acceptance, but something deeper. The willingness to abandon your own comfort, your own dignity, to stand with those who are different. The Velopian Council has noted this. We will not forget. Mackenzie didn't think of herself as a hero. She'd just done what felt right in the moment. But as she walked into the cafeteria the next day, she found Zixthari waiting for her, along with Colton and a dozen other students. The Velopian girl had brought something, a small crystal that glowed with inner light. This is a Sharveth, Zixthari explained. A friendship stone from my world. It is given to those who see you, truly see you. When others look away, she pressed it into Mackenzie's hands, and then another into Colton's. The crystal was warm, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. Thank you, Zixthari said simply, for kneeling. Mackenzie closed her fingers around the crystal and smiled. Thank you for letting us. Around them, the cafeteria had returned to its usual chaos. Students eating, laughing, arguing about exoplanet colonization. But something had changed. At every table, human students sat beside alien exchange students, Velopian, Crithari, Solvine, all eating together, learning each other's customs, bridging gaps that had seemed impossible just days before. Colton caught Mackenzie's eye across the table and nodded. She nodded back. Sometimes changing the galaxy didn't require grand gestures or impossible heroics. Sometimes it just required getting down on your knees and showing someone they weren't alone. That was the human way. That was enough.